Afternoon, everyone. I'm Mingfei from Shandong University. I will talk about our work that exploits the problem in the incentive mechanism of Ethereum. The paper exploits the attacks that make honest parties lose their incentive in Ethereum proof of stake. This work has been done with my collaborator Rujia and the advisor Sisi Duan from Tsinghua University. Okay, let's begin. We start the talk with the history of distributed system. At the very beginning, in 1982, the Turing Award winner Leslie Lamport first introduced the idea of Byzantine general problem. The story abstracts the need for designing protocol to reach consensus in a distributed system. The protocol that can solve the Byzantine general problems is called the Byzantine fault tolerance protocol, shortened to be BFT protocol. 11 years after the story was proposed, the Turing Award winner, Barbara Liskov, discovered the first practical BFT protocol. In 2008, the first decentralized cryptocurrency was invented called Bitcoin. It is the first successful permissionless protocol that allows nodes to join and exist the system freely. In 2013, Ethereum is invented. It is the first cryptocurrency that supports Turing complete coding. Then I will introduce the security properties of blockchain. As we can see in the figure, the system is maintained by a group of nodes. Some of these nodes are malicious, like the devil at the top left. However, the majority of these nodes are assumed to be honest, like the angel. In the situation where some of the nodes are malicious, the security goal includes two parts. Safety means that all honest nodes should have a consistent view of which transaction is finalized. The liveness property is that the system can continue to process and confirm new transactions. The assumption that the majority of nodes are honest is natural to the traditional distributed system, since the nodes are permission before joining. However, in blockchain, every node is rational and may choose to do something bad for its interests. So it is not easy to keep the majority of the nodes to be honest. For example, a very famous attack is called a double spending attack. In the double spending attack, the adversary tries to spend monies twice and get additional benefits. So it is important to keep the majority of nodes that follow the protocol and do something good. Blockchain uses economic incentives to encourage nodes to follow the protocol. Next, I will take incentive mechanism of Ethereum as our example. Ethereum is the second largest blockchain with a total market cap of 30 billion. In September 2022, Ethereum upgrades its consensus protocol from proof of work to proof of stake. The proof of stake protocol is called Gasper. The Gasper is a hybrid consensus protocol combining a friendly finality gadget and a fork choice, making the protocol very complex. The incentive mechanism in Ethereum is also complex. It includes three parts: attestation incentives, block reward, and synchro committee incentives. Among these incentives, as we can see in these two pie charts, the attestation incentive is the largest one. The attestation reward is 84.4% of the total reward, and the attestation penalty is 85.3% of the total reward. The bottom figure gives a brief introduction to how the nodes get block reward and attestation incentives. As we can see, a proper proposer released a block in slot 1. The block proposer released some token. The block proposer received some token as its block reward. After the block is proposed, the attestators start to vote for the block as yellow one. As we can see, only the attestors who vote for the block have received some token as its attestation reward. Those attestors who do not vote for block do not receive any reward and may face a penalty. The complex incentive mechanism make a great success. As we can see in the left figure, Up to now, more than 1 million validators are in the system. Such many validators achieved a very high participation rate surprisingly. As we can see in the right figure, the participation rate of Ethereum exists 99%. This is an amazing result. This result shows that almost all validators follow the protocol and do something good. This benefits from the design of an incentive mechanism that encourages the validators active and discourages the validator from doing something bad. The incentive mechanism plays an important role in securing Ethereum. However, there is no system analysis whether there may be a vulnerability in incentive mechanism of Ethereum. We are curious about whether there may be attacks that may affect the incentive mechanism and then affect the security of Ethereum. The answer is yes. We found 2 attacks against the incentive mechanism of the Ethereum proof-of-stake protocol. We call them warm-up attack and staircase attack. A single validator in the system can conduct the warm-up attack, which makes some of the validators receive less reward and get penalized. The staircase attack is a stronger attack, where 1/3 of validators conduct the attack and cause all honest validators to lose all their attestation reward and receive a maximum penalty. Now, I will dive into these 2 attacks. In the warm-up attack, only 1 Byzantine validator is required to conduct the attack. The Byzantine validator is assumed to be the proposer at the first slot of an epoch. The adversary strategy is very simple. The only thing is withholding its block for 4 seconds, which is block BI. As we can see, the attesters are triggered by the timer, which means that whether attesters receive the block or not, they will vote, which is the first set of blue rounded rectangles. Therefore, the attesters will vote for a block that is previous to the withheld block, which is block B. After the withheld block is released, the validators find that the attestations vote for the wrong block. These wrong attestations will be discarded by other validators, and the corresponding attesters will be penalized, shown as the blue rounded rectangle with diagonal strips in the bottom figure. This means that the approximately 30 seconds of honest validators will receive penalized. After the attack, the warm-up attack is not very powerful as it only affects some of the validators. We saw a more powerful attack that can cause all honest validators to receive no reward and get penalized. We start with the one-time attack that attacks on a specific epoch. Then, in the next slide, I will show that a one-time attack can be conducted during every epoch. First, the adversary creates and withholds a fork as the red square block BG. In addition, the attestations from the adversary are also withheld and not released. Instead, these attestations are included in the created fork. Therefore, the number of attestations included in the created fork is more than the number of attestations included in the original fork. So the second step is waiting for an opportune time to release the withheld fork. Once the withheld fork is released, the original fork will be reorganized, shown as the green square with diagonal strips in the bottom figure. The opportunity time is at the half of the next epoch. The idea is that this can be maximize the number of attestations discarded and also give the adversary the ability to attack in the next epoch. Here is our full version of staircase attack. As we can see, the adversary withholds the fork at every end of epoch and release it at the middle of the next epoch. This attack can be viewed as repeating the one-time attack for every epoch. These forks reorganizations form a kind of staircase, and this is the name of our attack. We also analyze the effects of our staircase attack and find that if the ratio of validators the adversary controls is more than 29.6%, the incentive of honest validators will decrease to 0. We also implement our attack upon a local testnet with 1,000 validators. We conduct the experiments with 4 different members of Byzantine validators, 296, 310, 320, and 333. Each experiment is conducted for 225 epochs, that is 1 day. The y-axis in the figure is the incentive loss rate. The higher the loss rate, the less incentive an honest validator can receive. If the loss rate is 100%, the honest validator will receive no incentive. As we can see in the figure, the results of the examples fit our analysis well. If the adversary can control 29.6% of validators, all honest validators suffer from no attestation incentives. It is worth mentioning that if the adversary controls a 33.3% stake, all honest validators are expected to suffer from a 20% stake loss compared to their fair share. We also analyze the feasibility and the mitigation of our attack. First, the feasibility of our attack is affected by 2 parameters. One is the number of validators in the system. The other is the maximum number of attestations that each block can include, that is, the max attestation parameter. Ethereum has implemented a mitigation for this attack in its upgrades in March this year. Briefly speaking, this mitigation significantly reduces the probability of continuing the attack in each epoch, thus mitigate this attack. Let's briefly make a takeout for this presentation. First, the incentive mechanism helps the blockchain to make nodes correctly and actively participate in the system. Thus, incentive mechanism plays an important role in safety and liveness of blockchain. A bad incentive mechanism may cause the stake of Byzantine validators to increase while the stake of honest validators to decrease, pose safety threats. However, current attention on the incentive mechanism is not enough. We have identified 2 attacks against the incentive mechanism of Ethereum proof of stake. The warm-up attack can be conducted by only 1 single Byzantine validators. The stereo case attack can cause all honest validators to be penalized and even lose their deposit in Ethereum. Thanks for listening.